Hi, I'm Kirsten, and so CGI, practical effects, VFX, all that in cinema. But I think one of the most notable CGI or practical effects or visual effects that I remember that was so weird, not weird, but it's like weirdly halata was when I watched Oppenheimer. It was 11, the last showing, first showing, premiere night was 11 p.m. So I walked to the mall. Mind you, this was in Bahrain. So I walked to the mall, and when I got in the theater, everyone was seated at the upper back, but it was like a bit spread out. And then I was the only one seated at the lower box, but at the very top row. So I watched it because Barbieheimer. Then it was still Aquan, I guess. It was his background story before making the bomb. So we reached to the point where Florence Pugh makes out with Killian Murphy. And then after that, she sits on a chair. She sits on the chair, and then the camera slowly dollies in, not zooms in, like it moves forward, moving closer to her. So she's like, so from what I see, she's wearing like a tube top dress. But then the closer it gets, I was like, did they paint over her body? Is like, is that supposed to happen? So yeah, very notable. And then yeah, that's pretty much only notable part. But then there's like other kinds of CGI practical effects, VFX that I've seen as a film enthusiast. So first one, I have a list. So there's the body horror from the substance. Very good, very nice. But what I liked about it was most of it was, I guess, a lot of it was done more practical, like with the skin and the face of Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. And then I think I didn't know it was like I thought like I thought they made a hole in the back of Margaret's butt so that Demi Moore's face could fit. So yes. But it was a really good blend of practical and CGI. Not CGI really, but like CGI. Yeah, I guess CGI because they had to map out and digitalize their face. And the next one would be a more practical side would be I guess Alien. Yes, I love Alien. Who else loves Alien? Oh my god, I look crazy while filming this. The Xenomorph, that's his name. The aliens, the Xenomorph. I think I remember they had. I watched a lot of behind the scenes, but I can't. I don't want to add because I don't want to download some more files. So, so weirdly, the shape of the head is a penis. Yes, I think that was actually one of the inspiration, and it was actually funny. And then they had to suit up the person inside it, and they had a lot of goo and a lot of slime. And then when it was gonna, there's a scene where it's gonna bite one of the shipmen astronauts in the ship where it's happening. It releases like another mini alien, another mini xenomorph that then bites. So the mouth opens and then something else comes out to bite it. And that was cool. But they had to use more technical stuff like wires and claws or whatever, which is really cool. And then lastly, my favorite visual effects that didn't need CGI, actually no need CGI, all real stunts, was Spice World. So there was a scene, but actually what happened was is there's a character explaining to the scene what they want to happen in the movie, their fictional movie, even though it's already in the movie. So the movie I'm watching, there's a bunch of people trying to make a movie about the girls who are already in the movie, and they're saying they want it to be like action packed. But then he said, what about the budget? And they said, no worries. And then, but besides all that examples of visual effects, CGI, practical effects, visual effects. One of the movies mentioned in the video rant, I guess, or video essay, video rant essay, was Mission Impossible Reckoning. The last two movies of Mission Impossible were more memorable to me because my first watching of Mission Impossible First Reckoning was in 4D theater. I watched it with my friend, and so we don't know what was gonna happen. I think I watched like a small trailer or a sneak peek, and then so we bought popcorn. We bought like no, like kind of like a big, this size kind of basta malaki siya. It's like that size of popcorn, and we had drinks. So basically, we had two popcorn, two drinks, and then we sat down in the theater. And suddenly, once the movie started rolling, we were lifted off our chairs. And you know that scene where Tom Cruise does the stunt where I think of Tom Cruise and action movies as a lot of more practical work than more CGI because mostly naman CGI, the editing they do with like the stunt's face and the actor's face isn't that really halata. For example, I Tonya's skating scene, like they had to dot. It was so weird because they said Margot Robbie was, she was actually skating. And then when I watched behind the scenes, she said, nah, they had to bring someone to actually do the triple axel, which is one of the hardest stunts in skating in women. Because Yuzuru Hanyu can do it, but they can get Yuzuru Hanyu because he's a guy. So I think of action movies very more. It's the actor actually doing it, and then very minimal yung guy. But this time, I only think of that because it's Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise, he likes doing it all alone. So yeah, I didn't think Tom Cruise would actually lie. What happened to no CGI? We don't use CGI. Big fat liar. That's why. Actually, I really liked it. I watched it because Haley Atwell is there. Haley Atwell from Marvel, who played Agent Carter. I watched the TV show, by the way, when I was in fifth grade. Anyone else watch it? Joke. Joke. And then the second movie was Final Reckoning. I actually didn't think they were gonna continue with it because people were saying that the first movie, First Reckoning, was so dangerous that they had to sign kind of not like an NDA, but they had to sign a contract that said if Tom Cruise actually dies, then that's the last. Then that's the last of the movie, the last of the whole movie and his life. I'm not manifesting, but like it's so dangerous. I actually think na they use that kind of mountain where it's so rigid and it perfectly like it looks so perfectly smooth.
Three, two, one, action!
Hmm. That's not that's not team no CGI. That's completely team edit the ground CGI to make it real. So yeah, the cake was a lie. And then the second movie came out. Was it Vanessa Kirby? Plus, the only reason why I wanted to watch this movie was because Haley Atwell was there and Vanessa Kirby was there. Vanessa Kirby is, by the way, what's that? Miss Sue Storm in Fantastic Four. It makes me excited to watch a movie because someone I've been watching for a long time. I watched her in The Crown. It was like pandemic. I watched her in pandemic. I watched her in the pandemic. So yeah, and then Final Reckoning. What about with Final Reckoning? The airplane scene. Oh my gosh, so many airplane scenes. What is up with that? Like, what is all this? Like, it's so It's so dangerous. I think, okay, but I think they actually had to CGI a bit as a viewer, as an audience. I think that to CGI it a bit, edit the wires because for safety, there's no such thing as all real when you actually have safety nets everywhere and whatever. Then they had to practice like a bunch of skydiving techniques, and the cameraman had to do skydiving techniques too and flip his body all around just to get the perfect angle. The motorcycle scene was a lie. The airplane scene was a lie. And the dogfight airplane scene was also a lie. That thing's so dangerous. Like, you're not just endangering one actor, Tom Cruise, but you're also endangering like the stuntman and that other actor. Like, why do these movie producers, movie people in movies, they want to say, "Oh, this is all real, all real. No, no CGI, no CGI." Yeah, we like to do it. Keep it real. Like, you should hear yourself. You're selling a lie. You're selling a lie just to keep your ego safe. Your film ego safe. Just to say, "Oh, this is like pure novelty, very pristine, no computer generated doo doo." That's misinformation. Like, actually. So yeah, when I think of CGI action movies or movies that need CGI or practical effects, visual effects, I think picking CGI is safer because then you would have a more realistic or better polished output that the audience could follow. And do not CGI is just to lie. It's a lie and a dream to your people, to your audience. Remember, the real CGI here is this. Bye, guys.